Lena. Good morning, everybody who's coming in. Do me a favor, hit like and share.
Good morning.
And later, this will be on Don Marie's platform as well, so
Yes.
she can share it. She will have the video to do some upload. So,
Absolutely.
what's going on, girl?
It's so good to see you, Pastor. Thank you so much for having me in your show, on your show this morning. It's
Good
always
show.
good to
Good
have
show,
a conversation with you. As I was sharing with you, I have been listening to your phenomenal unpacking of the toiling and the need to resist the urge to avoid when going through conflict. And so I was so inspired. I said, let me call him and talk about some other options or other ways to handle conflict and the importance of knowing that really avoidance is a conflict handling strategy that can be employed at certain times, but we have to understand when to use it, and we have to understand the other options that are available, because sometimes I think, and especially leaders, I've seen so many leaders just rest in the avoiding mode.
Okay.
But the problem with resting in the avoiding mode is that you never get to resolution because, and I did research, Thomas Kilmann is the person who developed the 5 modes of handling conflict.
Thomas Kilmann.
Yes, these are actually 2 people. Thomas Kilmann, 2 individuals.
Oh,
it's a Thomas Kilmann 5 modes of conflict resolution. Yeah, so
like Morris and Hill.
Morris Hill, absolutely. That's right. This is the Morris Hill production this morning. Exactly. So that's really the goal today. I wanted to help even move that conversation forward a lot, because we can say, hey, don't avoid, but the problem is people don't know what to do.
Okay.
Like I can say, don't stand still, but how do I move forward? How do I walk? How do I run? You know, and so those things have to be taught. And when you move past avoiding, the other modes are the options to be able to resolve conflict in a positive way. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So listen, y'all, I'm trying to figure out Thomas and Kilmann. They're not the same people, number one.
Right.
I want to figure out what other ways.
Yes.
When is avoidance and actually
good
beneficial?
Yes.
Beneficial. Yes. So avoidance can be beneficial at times. Hey, yo, we're going to have a marvelous show today. It's the worldclasstraining.net.
Yeah.
It's the worldclasstraining.net. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for my lovely co-host today. And I'm ready to have us a show. Yes. Conversations with Cornelius. I wish I should have gotten your intro, but it's all good. It's Capri Cares.
It's Capri Cares.
It's all of that.
Care that I know.
I know that I care.
Know that I care. That's
listen
it.
At you.
That's
Well,
right.
We're going to put the introduction just because.
Here we go.
Are you on the introduction?
I don't think so, but it's okay because I'm in the show.
Today. You're in the show.
I'm in the show today. Exactly.
Hold on. Before we back, let me do this. Oh, wrong
that's
one.
Wrong.
Wrong one. Let me do this. Talk about that real fast.
Oh my goodness. So I'm glad you brought that up. So yeah, we have 3 amazing classes that are coming up beginning September the 25th. All tools to help you grow professionally. If you're looking to get promoted in your career, you're looking to even be more respected in your job, these tools are ones that you need. The first one is the Speak Easy Summit. Public speaking skills is mandatory if you want to be successful in your career and in life. You have to be able to speak well. So we're not talking about just the big presentations that you may do in front of a live audience, but how do you construct a message in a way that moves the dial forward in the way that you want it to be moved? And so that's the Speak Easy Summit happening September the 25th. Focus and flow. Time management is so important. So many people say, I don't have enough time.
I don't have enough time.
Yeah, but you know what? God gave us all the same amount. And so some people are maxing that thing out and some people are not. Okay. And so we want to help everybody to be able to really take advantage of the 86,400 seconds that we're granted each day. And there are strategies to do that. And finally, I would say my favorite is EI over everything, emotional intelligence over everything. I was having a conversation with a leader yesterday, and we were not only talking about some conflicts that he was having with some of his team members, but also that how important it is to know that as you're moving up in the company or people want to move up in his organization, that it's not just their skill that's going to get them there, but it's the way that they handle others. And emotional intelligence is key to that. So you will not only learn more about what it is, but you'll walk away with your own emotional quotient score globally and in each of the dimensions. So you'll know where you need to improve related to emotional intelligence. So yeah, that's September 25th, October 2nd, and October 9th. And you register at worldclasstraining.net. Thank you very much for having that / school days. Yes, exactly.
DAYZE.
Yes, exactly.
So
yes.
We got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, very good.
Let me say good morning to Valina. Good morning, Kimberly Wilson. Good morning, those individuals who have come in. Hey, we just gonna switch gears. I was gonna do something else, but I'm not gonna do it. We say good morning to those who are coming. Do me a favor, hit like and share now. Like and share now. I was dealing with this on all week, Don. Let me do it this way. Let me go here first. Let me. Have you learned? Talking about conflict resolution avoidance. It says I resolve conflict in a clear, direct, and respectful way. Not what I might have learned growing up in my family, such as painful put downs, avoidance, escalating tensions, and going to a third party rather than that person directly. So when we talk about conflict resolution and how we need to learn to master conflict resolution, I just want everybody to look at that. I know I'm at the screen, but it's okay. I'll slide over. Talk to me about conflict resolution and Thomas Kilmann. Thomas and Kilmann, yeah.
Yes.
And you talk about avoidance, and we've been talking about avoidance all week, and the recipe for avoidance, etc. So where are my emotional intelligence plays a great role,
right?
But help me unpack just how do I get to that place where I can resolve conflict properly? Yeah.
So that's a great question. And the first thing that we do have to do is to get hold of where we are emotionally. So that self-awareness piece, understanding when that thing called your amygdala is rising, and we may feel in our stomach, we may feel, different. There are different physiological factors that happen when we are angered, or even when we're feeling emotionally happy, right? So we have to first become self-aware. And when we tap more into who we are as humans and being intentional about saying, you know what, this may not be the moment for me to handle that comes first from self-awareness, then we're able to self-regulate. So if in fact we know that because of how I'm feeling too nervous about it, or I'm feeling too anxious, or my anger is at a certain level, then going into that avoidance mode for a moment is not a bad strategy, because then you can reset. So just quickly, the Thomas Kilmann 5 modes to handling conflict operates on 2 axes. So the first axis is assertiveness, and the second axis is cooperativeness. So
slow down. Everybody put in the chat. Assertiveness.
Yes.
And cooperativeness.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
So I have to slow down and say those words, because guess what? I don't have the vocal fluidity. I don't say them enough. Assertiveness.
Yes.
And cooperativeness.
That's correct. Yes.
2 axes.
Those are the 2 axes
on which conflict resolution hinges for this particular paradigm.
Exactly. That's right.
Assertiveness and cooperativeness.
That's right. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, I'll put that in the chat.
Assertiveness and cooperativeness. Those are the 2 axes.
Okay.
So avoidance, in looking at the axis, is at the bottom left, which is low assertion, low cooperativeness.
Okay.
Wow. So if I'm avoiding something, I'm not being assertive. For instance, the leader I was talking to said that the person, when he asked what this person wanted, they said, I'm going to defer to you. That's not assertive, because assertive is not aggressive. It means that you're actually active in whatever the conversation is, right? Or in the resolution of the conflict. So if you're not assertive, it means you're not active in the resolution of the conflict. Cooperativeness connotes that you are not only being active, but you're being collaborative, or you're saying, hey, how can we do this together? There's a high degree of togetherness when you're talking about being highly cooperative. So if you're avoiding, you're not doing either. You're not being active in the resolution, and you're not working together with the person or persons to resolve the conflict. There are times to do that, but it does not typically lead to resolution.
Okay. Pause.
And I know we have,
Pause.
right, exactly. I teach this. I have a class called The Art of Conflict Resolution. So I know we're not going to be able to fully unpack all of this right here.
Right.
But yeah, The Art of Conflict Resolution, come see me, worldclasstraining.net, if you want the class for your organization. But yes, go ahead.
Yes.
Because I know there's a lot.
You're saying a lot fast.
Yes.
And you're full while you're saying it.
Yes.
So your amygdala has heightened or expanded in a good way.
Yes.
You say it with conviction, you say it with compassion, you say it with clarity. It's like, slow down.
Yes, I know. You always tell me that.
Slow down.
Y'all, I've been in Nashville 7 years. I'm still working on.
Well, no, that's the Chicago.
That's the Chicago.
Yeah, y'all talk fast. You know what I'm saying? I'm learning that. So I'm just trying to figure out like the cooperativeness and the assertiveness, the two axes, left,
Yes.
bottom, right, left, in the circle. In the axis part, is there movement?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And so I can, if I get a bad email, and I say bad, when I say bad, someone has written me a message that may not have been peppered with or salted with love and kindness, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't want to immediately respond, because what I may see may have my amygdala rising,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I want to step away for a moment before I respond. So I'm at the low end. I'm not assertive. I'm not cooperative, because I'm not doing anything about it. I'm not actually having a conversation. I'm bothered.
I'm bothered.
Oh
my God.
Right, exactly. But I'm going to avoid for a moment. Now, I'm going to quickly go to the opposite end of the spectrum. What do you call that? Catty corner to avoidance.
The
low left is where,
right.
That's correct. And so the catty corner to that is collaborativeness. And so collaborativeness is highly assertive, highly cooperative. So for instance, you and I, when we came here, we weren't in conflict, but we were in concert to try to make sure that we had everything set up in the way that it was, right? So we're both in action.
Mm-hmm.
We're both thinking about, okay, well, this doesn't work like this. Let's move it over here. That's highly cooperative. That's called a win-win, because both of us are seeking for the best resolution for both of us, right? Okay. So that's the highest level of, I won't say highest, because they're all necessary. When you said, is it fluid? They're all necessary. At certain times, it's great to be collaborative. But then as we got closer to 7, it's like, okay, we got to do it like this. So because we were collaborative, but now you have to move into, again, I'm going quickly. So
slow down.
Okay.
Y'all tell her to slow down.
Tell me to slow down.
Just slow down. And then we have a comment.
Somebody had a comment. Okay. So when you have to make a decision, so for instance, we both have children. So if I know my adult children, but sometimes, but sometimes we still know, their safety is important to us. Like, my son's safety is still important to me. I'm sure the same for your daughter. I know.
Brian
is 6'2".
Yeah, well, you're not little Brian. I'm looking for this little boy. It's like, Brian?
I think that happened at the airport too. I was talking to a gentleman the whole way flying, and I was like, yeah, my son is going to meet me at the airport. So he saw my son, and the look on his face was like, what was this?
But little Brian.
Exactly.
Like little Brian. No. Ain't nothing little about Brian.
Nothing at all.
Amygdala. That's amygdala.
Exactly.
That's good. It's good to laugh. Hold on, hold your point.
Okay.
Because you can always go.
Yes.
Benaya says, thank you for being on, Benaya. He says, It is more selective temporary avoidance.
Yes, absolutely.
It's a selective temporary avoidance where I can come back later and address it.
That's right. Absolutely.
I like
yes,
that.
Right.
Good morning, Shannon. Good morning. Okay.
And that's why to his, what's his name?
Benaiah.
Thank you so much for that.
North
comment,
Carolina.
Hey,
North
Carolina. Hey. So that's so important for us to employ our emotional intelligence at that time, because when you take selective avoidance and regulate, right, that second dimension, self-regulate, exactly, which is the second dimension of emotional intelligence, then you have an opportunity to come to the table with that person in a more, as the word on Facebook is now these days, in a more demure way. Demure way.
Can you spell that?
D-E-M as in Mary, U-R-E.
Demure,
right, which is a more calm, right?
Demure
way, exactly. And have a conversation that's focused on the problem and not the person. Because if you focus on the problem and not the person,
I like that.
As you talked about the anger and how people, insult people when they're angry,
right?
Then we can't really have a good conversation about how to resolve this, because now my feelings are hurt because you said something negative about me personally, versus saying, hey, you know what, that sign is crooked. Can we please straighten that out? You're like, you always hanging something up the wrong way.
Okay.
You don't want to attack somebody personally. You want to focus on the problem. And by selective avoidance, self-awareness, hey, I'm not feeling that good right now about this. Self-regulation, let me selectively avoid so that I can then choose one of the other 4 conflict handling modes. Then we can maintain a strong relationship.
Or strengthen the relationship. If that's the goal.
If that's the goal. Because
sometimes I've avoided not to strengthen, but to strangle.
Well,
I'm just being honest.
Yes. And
that's emotional intelligence. He over everything. And then you talked about the second dimension, but you didn't mention the first, and we're not going to mention the first unless you want to. Because you need to take that class. They need to take that class.
Well, you can, but I will go with what you just said. Okay. Let's lean into
it.
So from collaborativeness, I'm going to now go. And again, I know we're talking through this, but there's a whole, maybe when I posted on YouTube, and I can also share with you the whole diagram so it can get, people can visually see this as well.
I can show me where to pull it up. I can pull it up, but.
Yeah. So from collaborativeness, above avoidance, so you're going from low assertion, low cooperativeness to now high assertion, low cooperativeness, and that is compete, which means now I need to make some decisions, and it's me winning, you not. When you talk about that strangling, there is a time when you have to say enough is enough, or you may have to say this isn't gonna go. If somebody does something egregious in a workspace, right?
Egregious.
They may have to be terminated. I'm now in high assertion, low cooperativeness mode, because you've done something wrong. I have to tell you that you cannot continue to do it that way. And either we have to, as they say, change the people or change the people, which means that.
Ooh, slow down. Bombshell. Everybody put in the chat, and we've said this before, either change the people.
Right.
Or change the people.
Amen.
And that's not saying the same thing.
It's not saying the same thing.
But we have to low assertion, low cooperatives, high assertion, high cooperatives, higher cooperatives, low assertion.
Right.
At some point, either we change the people.
That's correct.
Or we change the people.
That's it. Yeah.
Good God Almighty.
Exactly.
See, that right there.
Yes.
I need a commercial break.
That's the whole word.
That's the whole word. But I have to get to a place emotionally where I'm going to change the people or change the people.
In all of
My
it.
My God, today. Look, Anna Catlin said, yes, change the people or change the people. Anna, we got that was the word, wasn't it? Everybody put that was a whole word. Like, either you change the people or
Yes.
change the people.
Or you change the people. That's correct.
God Almighty.
Exactly. Yes,
God Almighty. But I have to work on those spectrums and those axes and understand when I get into compete mode, it's more about the resolve now is change people or change people.
That's right. We're at a place where and in all of it, at the foundation,
Mm-hmm.
even if I am in a place where I have to go into compete mode, if I have properly become self-aware,
Yeah.
self-regulated,
Mm-hmm.
then when I go into social regulation, which is when I may have to make some decisions, right? Hey, you and I can't be in this space together, or I can't allow you to behave in this particular way, or hey, you got to be safe, so I got to pull you, about the street, In all of that, we have to manage our emotions, because that way we can continue to stay centered on the problem. I mean, I've had people who have had to terminate, and it maybe not in that moment, but in a couple of years later, we can still have a good relationship because
Right.
you understand, perhaps not now, but later, that your behavior was a problem.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad at you, but that behavior is not acceptable.
In the old Baptist church, we said we'll understand it better by
Bye and bye.
And Lena comes in and said, "Thank you for that. Very understandable." Shout out to Belina.
Hey, Belina,
Yes,
you're welcome.
yes,
Yes.
and yeah, Aunt Cheryl, change
Yes.
the people or change the people.
Yes.
And then get to that place of social.
Yes.
First it's self,
Right.
then it's social.
That's correct. Exactly.
Don and Cornelius, Don and Arnay, whatever
Yes.
I'm going by, doctors,
Yes.
consultant, all of those things.
Yes.
Okay, we have to have that social space.
That's
where I
correct.
make a decision now.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
And either
Absolutely.
change the people
Yes.
or change the people.
Or change the people.
Good
Absolutely.
God Almighty.
Yes.
That wasn't a whole word.
That
That was
was-
just like, okay. That was like just a whole.
We can close out on that, huh?
Like we really
Exactly
could.
right.
Put you in your E and just go and holler.
I know,
Say,
right?
yeah, we shall overcome
We
someday.
shall overcome someday. Yeah,
But-
exactly.
But
Yeah.
I'm back to this piece. Good
Sure.
morning, Brandy. Brandy, you're late, but it's okay.
Ah.
Love on them babies. Brandy, go back and watch this from the beginning because it was a major word, a bombshell dropped.
Yes.
Avoidance.
Yes.
It's good when.
Avoidance is good when you're not in an emotional position to handle the situation.
Hold on just a little bit. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're not in an emotional situation, an emotional place to handle the situation.
Slow
Right.
down. Let me chew. I need to avoid
Yes.
when emotionally I'm just not right.
Exactly. Yep.
It's an emotion. It's not a safe one.
Right.
Especially one that's secure and safe enough to self-regulate and be self-aware.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So Cain was not there.
No. Right. Exactly. No.
You know, I got slipped up.
Right. Exactly. Always. And it's all good.
Right.
That's the
But,
thing.
right.
Yes.
But Cain was not there.
No.
And Cain would have gone through your EI class.
He would have been.
He been all right.
He
We
would have
got
been better.
we got a little grace. But also, okay, so
Yes.
when I reach that unsafe place,
Yes.
forget trying to make a decision.
Forget trying to make a decision. Don't make a decision. And don't make a decision. Don't go into the resolution unless you've determined your anticipated outcome. So
Pause. My what?
your anticipated outcome.
Strangle. Not salvage.
Not salvage.
Strangle. That's already. I'm already there.
You're already
I'm on 10,
Yeah.
20, 30. But this helps. Isn't this helping y'all? Let's just be honest. This is
Yes.
helping. Sometimes I need to just learn to, as Jesus said, turn the other cheek and walk away.
Turn the other cheek and walk away. Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
it's infuriating.
Right. Yes.
My demure, what did you say?
Demure.
Demure. My demeanor.
You can't be in a demure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Okay.
A demure demeanor, I should say.
Or
Yes.
whatever.
You don't have a demure demeanor. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, if you can't do that, then you need to be in avoidance until you have settled yourself in a way to have the conversation in a way that focuses on maintaining positive relationship and handling the problem. So until you're there, and it could be, again, even handling the relationship may mean that we're not going to be able to be in the same space
for a while.
For a while, exactly.
Walk off.
Right, but respectfully so.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk off.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And then the other piece is somebody has harmed you and you don't really know what the anticipated outcome of the discussion you want to have with them is. We need to be strategic in our conversations, even our conversations with our friends who have harmed us. So I may say, you know what Cornelius said to me hurt my feelings, but I'm not sure what I want to be as an outcome of the conversation that I have with them. So for instance, I was talking to someone who just disappeared. We're having regular conversations. All of a sudden, I don't know what the person is. They're not responding. And then they just come back and want to start back up. And so we had to have a pause. And I had to have a conversation with him to say, you know,
it wasn't none of me, y'all.
It wasn't none of me. I mean, but first, before I even had the conversation, I really thought through, what do I want as an outcome of this, right? Do I want to just say, hey, you hurt my feelings? Or do we want to talk about how can we get to a place where going forward, if you're dealing with something mentally or physically, that you communicate just even on a minimal level that I'm going through some things. And so by me knowing what I wanted as an outcome, then I was able to focus on that in the conversation with the individual without being emotional.
As emotional.
As well, yeah. It's
the wrong emotion.
Exactly, which I communicated
so
that, hey.
Low left, moving to far right.
That's right.
Assertiveness, cooperativeness.
That's right. Exactly.
Into collaborative nation.
We got a lot of
this going on. All of this, the business.
Exactly.
I'm with it though. Yes. I'm with it. And you know what? I'm gonna be honest, and I'm speaking for the majority of us, Brandy, especially you and I, who were raised in the traditional Southern church.
Yes.
We have never been told this.
Exactly.
I'm gonna say it. Anna, not in the church. Shannon, I mean, Valina, we've never been told this. So we're not even the teaching part has never been there.
Right.
And the church is always going to be a place of conflict and a lot of conflict because you're dealing with people and emotions.
Exactly.
All
That's
the time.
Right. That's right.
But I've never been told this.
No.
And I'm 27 years into the crack.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Like literally.
Exactly. No, I know a lot of people aren't. We're not really taught. We're taught, go sit down, shut up, go,
do as I do, not as I say.
Exactly.
I brought you in this world. And I can take you out. Mama, wait a minute. Like you really want to tell God you just killed me? I can't even tell God I did. Like what is amygdala is really out of control like that. We heard something like this.
That's right.
I kill you, boy.
Right.
And I tell God I did it.
Right.
I mean, I think he knows. He was there. But I ain't Isaac and you ain't Abraham.
That's right.
You gotta slay me.
No, right.
But
yes.
but I even family, like, working through relationships with the adults.
Right.
Especially our children. Like I still want to be your dad and I want you to be a child.
Right. Yeah.
So I can feel it. It ain't the Holy Ghost.
Right.
It just stuff happens.
Yes.
Brandy's a parent. All of us are parents. Alina, we grandparenting now.
Yeah.
I need to learn how to move myself through these stages.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
Of self-regulation.
That's
self-aware, social regulation.
Yes.
So that can be, as Jesus said this, or Paul said this, as much as lieth in you live peacefully with all men.
Yeah.
But that's a process.
That's a process.
If I don't know my EI.
Right.
I know my, yes, I know that. I know my EI. It's going to be a killing.
It's gonna be a killing.
Yeah, killing. I mean, we heard that stuff growing up, right, Valina, right, Shannon, right, Anna. I mean, Brandy, we heard that stuff growing up, but then you working us through this whole new paradigm.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is Don talking about?
Yeah.
I was like, you sound like Charlie Brown teacher. Right.
Right.
Because you own it. You teach it.
Right. And so by teaching it, I have to live it. And to your point, yes, a lot of times we're taught though just the left side of the spectrum. Either we're avoiding or we go straight to compete.
Mhm.
But there are 3 other possibilities within the axis. We didn't even talk about compromise and accommodate, right? These are all choices that we can make. But oftentimes we stay in avoidance until somebody has ticked us off to the point where, bam, now I'm going off. Because that rock I never resolved. It stayed in the middle of the road and it just grew. And so now that rock is in my way and I can't emotionally get past it. So I'm just going to beat it up. Right. And so by beating it up, now I've destroyed the relationship.
And the purpose.
That's correct.
That rock possibly,
and the purpose. Exactly.
The rock's purpose now has been destroyed.
That's right. Exactly. Because we never talked about why is this rock in the middle of the road. Because if we could talk through why it's in the middle of the road, perhaps we can discuss, should we move it to the left or to the right? Should we decorate it? Or should we actually remove it? But if we never have the discussion and we just keep seeing, oh, this rock is in the middle of the road, it's bothering me, I'm never saying anything until now I've stubbed my toe on it and I'm going off on you because I've been looking at it, but I never said anything.
That's not like most of the relationships.
Exactly. Right.
Or we sweep it under the rug.
Right.
And
right.
It's like, no.
Yeah.
Even, you know, I've had a situation arise 2, 3, 7, 12,
Mhm.
15.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I gotta just say this, and it's in safety. You know, when people's amygdala arises.
Right.
And then everybody's talking about when your feminine becomes masculine.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so I gotta match that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you fussing at me.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
I'm not Jesus yet.
No, right, exactly.
I'm not. I'm growing to that.
Right.
And I remember a time where the swelling of your neck already got a reaction.
Right.
But now I can say, guess what? I'm understanding to listen.
That's right.
And self-regulate.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, no. But I had to share with an individual. I need to match your energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we want to do that.
Right.
You do not think you've changed tone, tonality, temperature,
right.
temperament.
That's right.
But you really have.
But you have.
And I just need you to be aware that I'm about to match your energy.
Right.
And that's not healthy.
It's not healthy.
Because we're going to walk away scarred from this.
Exactly.
So, man, it was, girl, you just really, hey, sow a seed.
But that was good for you to socially regulate that moment and say, you know what, this is what I'm hearing from you. And instead of it getting out of hand, I'm going to regulate the situation and perhaps let's avoid this and come back to the table.
Yeah, we coming back.
Talk better,
right? I know, we coming back.
I'm saying,
as the kids say, I got to get my lick back.
You so crazy. You so crazy.
Oh my God. That's what they say, right? I got to get my lick back.
Exactly.
I got to get my lick back.
Yeah.
I got to get my lick back. But I thank you for helping me socially and self-regulate.
Yes.
So because that situation, I'm not even feeling bad about the situation.
Right.
Because that situation could have really gone a different way.
Yep.
And as they say, all hell would have broken loose.
Could have broken loose. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm grateful that you have shared with me how to self-regulate.
Right.
And have social regulation skills. Or move me through some things.
Yes, exactly.
Cooperativeness and assertiveness.
Right. Those are the 2 axes. And I'll say this. So I in the training that I offer, and I just did a class 2 weeks ago on this. What will happen is you will do an assessment for the art of conflict resolution as well, where you will find out what your most organic conflict resolution handling mode is. So most people tend to lean towards one mode or another. All 5 are necessary. And the closer you are in the number, if you ever have an organization that comes to the class, and I highly recommend it because in this particular organization, this leader had 12 out of 20 of his people who had avoidance as their primary conflict resolution strategy.
Pause. 12 out of 20.
12 out of 20.
Okay, 12 the numerator, 20 the denominator. I'm going real slow. 12 out of 20 because Jesus looks at numbers. Both can be divided by 2. That's 6, and that's 10.
Yeah.
That's 60%.
60%. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
You know, you can for the least common denominator.
Right.
You can do that by 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's 3 and 5.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's
so
right.
3 out of 5 people.
Yeah. Use avoidance.
Use in this organization.
Yeah.
Which is a good organization.
That's a good organization
to work for and in or be a part of, but with that type of that, like, okay, pause, because okay, Anna, just say if she came to the job and did this, or Shannon, she worked with this in your organization, and you said 60% of the congregation. See, I'm so preachery. 60% of the employment. Their first piece is avoidance, or their first.
Their most organic conflict resolution strategy is avoidance. When I saw the numbers, which I've trained this for Dick's Sporting Goods for a long time before I ever did this in my company. Yeah, that's rare. Yeah, especially among leaders. Leaders typically are actually competitors, so they're the highly assertive low cooperativeness, which isn't necessarily, the greatest either. But with avoidance, what I said, either a lot of people in here are going to have ulcers, or I also told the leader, I said, you have to be careful because they may not be saying what they're thinking, and that is dangerous for that many people in the organization.
60% avoidance.
That's correct. Yeah.
What? Nothing. We didn't mention the organization, so just say.
Yeah.
What? I'm afraid.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like.
Yeah.
That's beyond toxic.
That's beyond toxic. Exactly.
That's beyond poisonous.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's beyond. Okay, like you have your hazardous sign.
Right.
Like you need a hazardous sign, a poisonous sign, a toxic sign.
Right.
What's above that? I mean,
you gotta
Chernobyl. Remember that?
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
Something's about to explode.
Something is about to explode. Exactly. Yeah. So, and even in the training, it was evident, that they needed some more work. But yeah, so it's important to really know even that, like, what do I normally lean towards? Because it's understanding situationally. Again, all of the modes are necessary, but when do I employ them, and understanding that I can flex. I know in this moment I can't avoid this situation because it's either going to bother me or it's going to explode into something else. I need to go either into a collaborative or compromising mode. Let's have some conversations so that we can reach a better resolve. Because if we're just leaving it at the end and not doing anything, the problem isn't going anywhere. We have to make sure that we do something. But people need to know, like we were talking about, and I know we have to close quickly, but I will say this. Oftentimes, this highly technological, we should.
Part 4, probably.
Probably.
Because I'm trying to deal with this data.
I know. In this highly technological world, we like to put our discussions, our difficult discussions, in text messages. The more difficult the situation, the less you should use text messaging to resolve it. You need to be eye to eye. You cannot. Don't text me your trouble. Right. Exactly.
Don't do it.
Yes. And one of the people
Bernard said, no, take your time. He said, I'll take your time. He's a pastor, by the way.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah.
Bernard, we'll see you soon. We'll see you next week, Bernard, right? Call me later. Make sure I get your hotel arrangements. Okay.
But
you're right. But like, what you're saying, Don, is so powerful and practical.
Yes.
So the principles that Jesus taught come with a process.
Right.
The process, of course, is the Beatitudes.
Right.
But we spiritualize everything sometimes on the church side and make it this one way fits all absolute.
Right.
Which possibly is unhealthy.
No, exactly.
So now when God asks me to turn the other cheek.
Right.
And I keep getting hit.
Right. Exactly.
But to self-regulate now.
Self-regulate. Exactly. Right. Yeah.
And be more assertive.
That's right.
And cooperative.
Right.
Now all of that makes sense as a principle.
Yes. Right.
But if I don't have what you're saying, though,
it's not going to work.
It's not going to
It's
work.
not going to work.
It's
Exactly.
not going to work.
Right,
Like,
right.
it does not work. Talking
Right.
about a virtuous woman. Who can find a virtuous woman? Her price
Right.
is far above rubies. But she was a woman of self-regulation. She was a
Right.
woman of, she was a highly emotionally intelligent woman.
That's right. Exactly.
Like
That's
these biblical principles that I'm just coming up now. It's like, okay, this is predicated on a process.
That's right.
And something that you continue to go through and grow through. Let me
That's
say
right.
that.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah, but you said something and yeah, stop texting me that for crazy.
No, I tell my rule is if it goes past 3, somebody's picking up the phone, and it's likely gonna be me. I mean, if you text me some too much conversation,
It's picking up the phone.
pick up the phone. Let's wrap this up, because I could be done and moved on to the next thing. Number one. Number two. I got a text message from a cousin a couple of days ago, and it was kind of cryptic. I'm like, what is this person talking about? So I picked up the phone, but I told my son. So of course the person didn't answer immediately. I said the best way for some people to get rid of them is to call them, because then they won't answer. But if you really want to talk about something, you'll call me back. Exactly. And she did end up calling me back. But yeah, I was like, no, we're not going to resolve this on text messaging. We're not doing that. So yeah.
because it's not.
Yeah, you can't feel the person in that class I was at, and then again, I don't know if you wrap up because we're at 7:45 already. 7:42.
I'm fine.
But
I'm relaxing today.
I know. I know, but I know that people got to go to work.
Yeah, y'all got to go.
I just wanted to share that this particular person who said that she texted her boss, and she said, yeah, and I felt that he was okay with it, and I said, well, the key to what you said is, I felt. You don't know because you never had the conversation to ask him. So we download what we want to download on a text message, and then we walk away. But if you've never settled it with that person, then you have no real data to say that we're in alignment and everything is going to be okay. And you need to do that if you really are valuing the person over the problem.
If we're valuing the person.
That's correct.
Over the problem. Did you hear that? Put in the chat. Value the person over the problem.
That's right.
We're going to land our plane right there.
Okay.
Y'all to get part 2 of them another day. We're going to keep recording.
This has been great. Yes.
We're going to keep. Stacey Cole is in the house. Stacey's like, great.
Cole. Hey, Stacey Cole. Hey, girl.
How you just
we
now
gotta
gonna
get
say
back
something?
together, Stacey. I know. We need to get back in the studio together.
Stacey, here's the mic number 3.
I know, right?
Don over.
Exactly.
You come sit right there.
Exactly.
Or Don can sit right here.
Right.
And I can sit over there. It doesn't matter. Listen, Anna did it. Anna said, value the person over the problem.
Yes. And
that's a task and a challenge.
Yes.
That's a task and a challenge.
It is.
Y'all, it's been the worldclasstraining.net today. School, let me put it back up here, school days. We're not done talking.
Yes.
We're probably going to keep recording. I'm just going to have to, be a blessing and sow into her ministry.
Yes.
She said yes. She said yes. Hold up, y'all. And amygdala is rising. Amygdala is rising.
Oh,
amygdala is rising. Amygdala is rising. Amygdala is rising. Amygdala is rising. Do you see that? Do you see that? Am I self-regulating?
You are self-regulating.
Look at that.
You're so aggressive. He actually is showing my book. Oh my goodness. It's gonna be a good Friday. It's gonna be a good Friday. Thank you, Pastor.
So how can we purchase this book?
So Unpacking Agape, the 7 languages of intentional leadership.
You hold it. It's yours.
The behaviors of being a servant leader. Yes, and you can purchase this on my website at worldclasstraining.net. You can hold it because it's closer to your thing. worldclasstraining.net/agape, AGAPE. Some people would like to go to Amazon, but if you come to me, then I'll
we come to you and you get it with Amazon. Bezos, you
Bezos getting his coins, right? Exactly.
Just get this.
Worldclasstraining.net is the 7 languages of being a servant leader, and it'll bless you as well. Great. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir.
Y'all see my amygdala rise?
Yes.
I think I went to assertiveness.
And you did.
And cooperativeness.
And as we close, I do have to share this because that's a great point. some people think when your amygdala rises, it's only in a negative sense. We have distress, and we also have what's called eustress, and that's moments of being excited. I know we just have to wrap up, but I didn't want to.
I don't have to go.
Oh, you don't have to go. Okay.
But we gonna land.
Okay.
Our plane. We're gonna land our
so
plane.
many good things to share. But I want people to also know it's okay to be happy. It's okay to be excited. Sometimes that joie de vivre has to stay with us.
Oui, French.
It's
French
joy of life. Yes, it's the joy of life.
Joie de vivre. Did y'all hear that?
Right.
Joie de vivre song. What she did? Joie de vivre? What we swatting the fly? Joie de vivre. Did y'all hear her? Joie de vivre.
Yeah.
Boy, she
Yes. Yeah.
Look, even Benai tripping. She's speaking in tongues, ain't she? Benai, coming on the honey. Yellow bow tie. Swat me. I said, what in the world? Anna's cracking up. Everybody cracking up. Swat de vie.
Exactly.
Swat de vie. Oh, I'm swatting over here. So you draw. Okay, y'all, we're done. It's good to end on that note.
Be happy this Friday.
Like,
exactly.
no, you said your amygdala is distrust.
There's distress.
Distress.
Which are moments of, angst.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's eustress, moments of joy. And some people, because people have been told, hey, go sit down, don't get too excited, all that, then they don't even properly lean into moments of happiness. Right, exactly. Yeah. So increasing your emotional intelligence, that self-regulation dimension, requires that when you feel happiness, that you are comfortable leaning into that moment and celebrating in the way that you should. Yes.
Well, listen, y'all.
Joie de vivre.
Joie. Not joie. See, I got me a
Joie.
Joie de vivre. Joie de vivre. On Friday, we're going to joie de vivre. Everybody going to joie de vivre. Listen, y'all, it's been World Class Training.net.
Yes, thank you, Pastor Hill.